guys? Just following up with a little part 2 of my virtual pinball machine. You may remember in the last episode we installed this nice new coin door. So today I wanted to go over a little bit about how I installed some contactors into this thing to simulate the flipper sound and recoil, and how I made that work. Just so you guys get the lay of the land here, I got this pinball machine about 2 years ago. Come to find out that these are actually manufactured in China. You can purchase them on Alibaba and they can be shipped to the United States. So what's cool about this pinball machine is that everything is preloaded for you. There's really nothing you have to do. The whole machine is assembled. The computer is installed inside of this. The monitors are set up, and it comes pre-installed with 881 tables. It has a cool little front end that you can go through all the different games. And for me, this was good enough. Everything was pre-installed. I didn't have to do the legwork. I didn't have to get a supercomputer to run this. I didn't have to set up the programming. Everything was there. So when it came to trying to add like a force feedback or a sound feedback for the flipper buttons, that's where I kind of hit a roadblock, because this computer that runs this thing is actually locked and there's no way to get into it. You can't add tables, you can't do anything with it. It just is what it is. So there's no way to get into like the virtual pinball software or anything like that at all. So I know with the newer software, I'm not a pro on this virtual pinball stuff, but I know with the newer software, you know, they make it pretty much plug and play to add contactors for feedback if you wanted to, but not in my case. So I had to kind of think old school. How the heck am I gonna do this? So in today's video, I wanna show you guys how I did it. Very simple way, inexpensive, to add feedback to your flipper. So let's head to the workbench and I'll show you guys my plan, and then we'll show it all in action once it's done. Today I just want to show a proof of concept about how I want to install contactors inside my virtual pinball machine. So what these are air conditioning contactors, commercial air conditioning contactors, which are basically just big relays. So you're using a low voltage to energize a coil, which will then make a magnetic field which pulls in this relay. Why would we want to do this? Because these will make a loud clicking noise when you hit the flipper button, and it will sound very similar to what a real flipper sounds like on a real pinball machine. Not only will you get the nice audible clicking sound, but you'll also get like a force feedback feel to the cabinet when you hit the button. So you should be able to feel the vibration through the wooden cabinet. Starts out with line voltage, 120 volts coming in. So I'll tap off of the line voltage coming into the pinball machine. Then I'm gonna put a toggle switch in line here, so I have the ability to turn this feature off, because as cool as it is, this will get very loud after playing for a while, and my wife will probably kill me. So power's coming in, we go through the switch, and then we're gonna power this, which is a 24 volt transformer, a step down transformer. So we're taking high voltage, 120 volts, and we're stepping it down to low voltage, 24 volts AC. 24 volts AC is what's needed to energize these coils to pull in the relay. 24 volts comes out on the red, and we're gonna have that interrupted by a micro switch here. And when you throw this switch, it will complete the circuit and continue sending the power to one side of the contactor. The other side of the contactor is your common, and that'll get wired up to the common side of the transformers. Now, the easiest way to do this was I actually created this micro switch myself, and it's a double micro switch. I basically fabricated a way to make two independent circuits off of one click. So I basically glued two micro switches back to back and put the lever arm, this metal arm, going over the other switch. So when you click it, you press the button, you'll see you're hitting two switches at the same time. This way the circuits could be totally independent of themselves, because you need to control AC on one side for the contactors and DC on the other. So on this side, this is your normal DC 5 volts that's flowing through here that goes to your computer. Just to demonstrate, let's plug it in. All right, so we got it plugged in. We would have the switch turned to on, all right? And when you hit the button, energize that relay, and it pulls in, you get that nice click. Same thing on this side. So pretty easy way, poor man's way to set up contactors for some force feedback in your virtual pinball machine. Very simple way to do it. And I'm gonna set it up now. And when we come back, I will show you how we did it. I wanna show you what we did here. So here's the stock power switch, came with it. And here is the switch I installed for the contactors. Here's the power coming in, and I tapped into it over here. That feeds our switch over here. This is the switch. You can see I had to route out the wood, so it's independent of the power for the computer and the rest of the cabinet. Here's the heart of the whole thing, the 24-volt transformer. All right, so power comes from the switch, goes through a fuse block, 120 volts powers the step-down 24-volt transformer. Off the 24-volt transformer, you can see we fused it, and then I tie into ran some thermostat wire, which then feeds straight to the front of the machine, and then it splits, it tees off either way. You can see one contactor up there and one is over there. Let's move to the front of the cabinet and I'll show you the contactors. Hopping around to the front, open up the coin door here. You guys can see right down the middle here, this is where our main wiring trunk comes down, and then it splits. You can see these splices right here. If we follow that red and white wire, that's our 24 volts AC coming in. The white is the common. It goes directly to one side of the contactor coil, and then the red goes up to that custom switch, and you can see those two micro switches back to back. When you push the flipper button, one micro switch is the DC side, which is connected to the computer, and the other switch is the 24 volt AC side, and it'll make and then send power back. And I fused this thing again. It's kind of redundant, but whatever. And then the red goes to the other side of the contactor coil. So when you press it, it'll pull in the relay and make that nice audible clicking noise, which also vibrates the side of the cabinet, and you can feel that, and it gives a nice, cool, not only audible, but a force feedback. Similarly, on the other side, you can see I have the other contactor, and that's it. So I'll fire it up and I'll turn down the computer speakers, the volume, and let you guys just hear the contactors and see them in action a little bit. All right, guys, just loaded up game here, Cactus Canyon, which is pretty neat Old West pinball machine. Pretty rare pinball table in real life. So I wanted to show you guys the contactors in action here. So I'm gonna just lower the volume just so you can hear it. So here's the contactor. Maybe I'm gonna hit the button. So it gives you that little added sense of realism, which I was going for, and it's pretty cool. I know nowadays, you know, the technology's crazy. I mean, people have those contactors like all scattered throughout the cabinet, and they will go off like whenever the ball's bouncing off things, and they'll simulate that. So it gets really, really cool with all the features that are available. But unfortunately for me, unless I replace the PC that's running this thing, this is probably going to be the extent of my force feedback. But I'm cool with that. Let's hop into a game. It may be hard. I'll put the volume back up. It may be hard to hear. Well, you know what? Let me run it first with the volume off, and you can just see the ball reacting. Let's try that. Let me see if I can do this. Oh. Yeah, sorry. I'm like looking at the camera, and it's like, you know, there's like a lag between the camera display and the actual game. So, and I'm also doing this with one hand. But yeah, that's it with the flippers kind of running around. And then let me see if I can turn the volume back up. Do this in one clean shot here. I don't want to go too loud with it. Not gonna do too good with one hand, but you guys pretty much get the gist here. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will catch you guys in the next one, so take it easy.
Look at all this blood, my wife is going to kill me.
Have a good one.